Greetings, I am the Soviet Warlord, and today I am bringing you another episode of Stakhanov's builds. In this episode, I'll be covering the Grinlok. The Grinlok is a powerful Grineer lever-action rifle capable of accurate long-range fire. It is built via clan tech and requires a mastery rank of 5 to wield. In order to construct the Grinlok, you can buy it from the marketplace for 150 platinum with a free Orokin catalyst, or you'll require the following components: 2 detonite injectors, also acquirable through Clantech, 5,000 polymer bundles, 5,000 ferrite, 1 former, and 30,000 credits. This is a more expensive build of the selection we have. This weapon has some interesting characteristics and makes for a nice range of options. It comes with 60 impact, 12 puncture, and 47 slash damage by default. Accuracy is rarely a problem, although listed as 28.6. This weapon can fire a very long range very accurately. The fire rate is of course very slow at just 1.7 rounds. Your magazine is equally small at just 6 bullets. You will also need to cycle per shot. Reloads are on the average side at 2.1 seconds. The Grinlok comes with an unusually high 35% base proc chance, quite unusual for any rifle, but it can allow for a very unusual build for an unusual playstyle. The Grinlok boasts extremely high accuracy at all ranges, but with only 6 shots at your disposal, good shot placement is the key to your success. In this build, we will give this weapon a reflex killer and AoE killer, focused on shooting quickly and taking out groups swiftly. So onto our modifications. Split chamber, serration, both standard on every rifle, nothing to say. So our third choice comes down to shred. Although your fire rate is pretty fair for its role, an extra 30% can't hurt, allowing for faster kills against multiple enemies. With good reflexes, you can take out multiple enemies in different places in a very swift and timely manner. The 1.2 meters of punch through that shred grants you greatly enhances your lethality, permitting multiple kills per shot, and coupled with a tiny dose of patience, these 6 shots can take you much further with the improved killing efficiency brought to you by shred. While the Grinlok's critical chance leaves a lot to be desired, a semi-automatic weapon, coming with just a 15% critical chance, it's fairly average. But the second benefit of the next mod is our main concern. Hammer Shot brings you an additional 40% more proc chance to the mix. With a base chance of 35, this is a mod that can easily result in stuns, bleeds and puncturing very often. So we continue to build on this potential with the use of Malignant Force. This is currently an exclusive mod, given only to participants of the Cicero Crisis. It confers 60% poison damage on top of your base, and also stacks on a further 60% status proc chance, which also combines with that granted to you by Hammer Shot. Malignant Force gives us our elemental precursor and our ability to utilize it. If you do not possess this mod, then Wildfire makes a viable alternative, giving you 2 extra shots per magazine and giving you fire instead. If you are lucky enough to participate in the Tethys Doom event, High Voltage makes the perfect pairing. It stacks with the 2 previous mods for a grand total of a whopping 99.2% proc chance, making every shot a force to be reckoned with. Be careful where you place your mods. Corrosive damage is not our goal here. Without High Voltage, Vital Sense or Point Strike can round off your critical game instead. Now all we're missing is our elements. Since we already have poison, it makes sense to amplify it with Infected Clip. When tackling heavy units, damage over time helps tremendously, especially when fighting higher level enemies. Since this weapon is mostly impact skewed, tackling the corpus makes sense. In essence though, the Grinlok can handle any faction with the correct element, but with extra poison, this is our first ingredient. And finally, we double it up with Hellfire. This mixes to give you a concentrated gas damage, harming organic targets and destroying light infested. With nearly a guaranteed proc every shot, the area of effect that gas brings you can kill groups in one well-placed bullet. Be sure to place your mods correctly, otherwise you'll end up with radiation and poison, or you could end up with corrosive and fire. These are not our intentions. They can be effective against some factions, but the corpus is not one of them. Coupled with shred, one shot now has an explosive effect with a nasty, toxic aftertaste to any survivors. On top of this, High Voltage gives you another area of effect potential in Chain Lightning for more chances of death to the enemies you're shooting at. So that's the build. One designed to stretch the concept of one-shot lethality right to the very limits and allowing it to kill groups instead of just lines of enemies, so utilise your procs very well. However, a great build potential comes a high former count. 4 of them are needed for this build in particular. You will need 5 if you decide to choose some more expensive mods in place of the exclusives featured in the build. So, when facing groups or enemies in every direction, take aim for the centre and kill them all from the inside out in one very well placed bullet. Send the enemies running home. I am the Soviet Warlord, and this has been an episode of Stakhanov's Builds. Hope you've enjoyed. Peace out.